do you overcome a breakup and come out on top on the other side? Breakups can be so painful. It can really trigger a lot of our inadequacies, shame, not good enough, feeling unwanted, unworthy. If you don't know how to handle it or process it, it could feel like an absolute death. And it kind of is. It's a death of a part of us or part of our identity. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 9 steps on how to overcome a breakup. Or another way to say that is an uncoupling. If you and your beloved are closing out or ending your love story, here's how you can overcome it. And sometimes it's not always mutual. Sometimes someone does the breakup and you might be the recipient, or vice versa. Either way, however way you spin it, it still can create a lot of emotional turmoil. So I wanted to share a video and some steps that have helped me and the clients that I serve on how to overcome the more challenging aspects of breaking up or ending your love story. Be sure to stay till the end because I'm going to share one of my most favorite programs on how to help you move through a breakup by pouring into self-love. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be alerted anytime I'm producing new content. Hi, my name is Michele Ariana, and I absolutely love helping other ambitious women attract love while loving themselves and without losing themselves. This channel is the place to be to create a healthy, empowered relationship, first starting with yourself. All right, so here are the 9 steps on how to overcome a breakup. This is what I used personally when my former beloved of 6 years and I consciously uncoupled, which, by the way, check this video out on conscious uncoupling. We shared kind of behind the scenes of what we did. It still created pain and hurt and the normal emotions that humans go through when we end a relationship. But we talked about how we did it consciously and how we ended our love story still in love. But that didn't take away the emotional challenge, the grief, the sadness, the anger, the rage, like all of it. And so I wanted to give you the steps that I've gone through and that I've shared with other clients on how to navigate through a breakup or an uncoupling so that you come out the other side whole and feeling complete. Okay, so step 1, you must give yourself permission to feel all your emotions. There's a saying, what's in the way is the way. If there's an emotion that's alive for you, like grief or sadness or anger, you must give yourself space to feel it. This journey that you're going on through a breakup, you are literally ending a part of or an aspect of your life. An old identity is shedding from you. So there's so much grief. It's like a death, a small death of the ego, of an identity, of a version of you. The person that you are uncoupling with and breaking up with represents an aspect of you, and there can be a lot of emotional sadness and ties to that. I'm a big advocate and I trust that all things happen for a reason. I trust the energy of things. I trust the flow. If I'm not meant to be with someone moving forward, then God, the universe, my higher self will have our paths part. So I do have faith and trust in that. But even if you don't, just know that whatever is going on in your life, trust that there's something on the other side of it that's going to help support you. So be sure to feel all the emotions that come up. And there's another saying, our triggers are our teachers. So when I say a trigger, I mean an emotional trigger. So if you notice waves of different emotions coming up that are triggering you, just be with it, acknowledge it, accept it, love that part of you that's feeling that way without denying yourself the experience. Because what you don't want to do is repress it or suppress it. That's going to push it down into your body, into your energy field, and it's just going to come out later in the next relationship. So you want to use this breakup as a gift to heal some deeper core wounds that are just wanting love and attention right now. Okay, so the second step to help you overcome a breakup is to give yourself space and grace. Meaning, give yourself like a 48-hour emotional session. Let yourself go there. Look at the old photos, reminisce in videos, think about all the things that you did together. If there's sadness there, if there's happiness there, like let yourself just for 2 days, give yourself, or 1 day or a few hours. The idea is that you're doing it with intention. You're not going to try to deny yourself feeling those feelings. You're just going to give yourself space and grace to hold and acknowledge as part of the grieving process what was the experience you had with that person. When you give yourself a day or two to do it, it's not going to come and haunt you later. It's almost like when we don't give ourselves that space to actually grieve properly and acknowledge those things that we, are sad about or whatever, it's going to come back and come up from repression later. So you might as well handle it now. Okay, the third step on how to overcome a breakup is to talk about it. Find a counselor, a coach, a therapist, someone that you can express yourself to. A friend could help, but also you want someone that can have the ability to hold space for you in a way that's going to be supportive. Sometimes when we go to friends, depending on where their mindset is or their beliefs, it's like, yes, friends are going to be supportive in some way, but sometimes they'll add fuel to the fire. So you just want to make sure if you go to a friend that you just ask them, hey, can you just listen while I vent so that I can move through this? If that's what you want. Sometimes you want solutions, and I get that. But if you go to a coach, a therapist, I'm an NLP master practitioner. I do breakthrough sessions. So when clients come to me, when they're exiting a relationship, they'll go through a breakthrough in their love and relationship area, and I help them heal. A breakthrough is like 10 years of therapy in a 1-day immersion and then 3 months of follow-up. So that's also an option, but you want to just make sure you talk through it. Another aspect of talking and expressing how you feel is journaling. So get yourself a nice journal or pull out your laptop or computer and just type or write what's alive for you, what's on your heart. Truthfully, you don't have to be so concerned of like, oh, I don't want to write anything negative. Just set the intention or the prayer, like whatever I write will be transmuted into love so that I may hold it and acknowledge it in a way that's healthy and healing, okay? And then express. A really powerful tool for doing that is writing a 3-part letter to your former beloved, the one that you are breaking up with. Write a 3-part letter. The first letter you write is like communicating all the like lower base emotions, anything you never got to say to them, if there was no closure, like write it out, type it out. You're not going to send these letters. This is just for you. But the idea is that you're expressing to get it off your chest. So if you're angry, be like, I'm so angry at you. I felt this way. I felt that way. Blah, 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 blah. Like write or type out that letter. Set that aside. That's the first letter. The second letter you're going to write once you get all the energy out and express yourself is you're going to then write a letter that's more neutral. Like, all right, I see we both were part of this. Like, here's where maybe I learned and had some mistakes, or here's what I feel I can do better going forward, And so where you're kind of starting to see or take personal responsibility for your part in it, even just your thoughts, words, and perception of how you are showing up. Then the third letter that you're going to write to them is as if your higher self is speaking to their higher self. So this letter is going to come from your soul, from absolute love, from like appreciation. And again, if you can't get there, that's okay. But the idea is these 3 letters help you fully express and move yourself up the emotional scale of healing so that you can see the different facets and you're not denying any aspect of yourself either. So the third letter, write it with like just such higher consciousness, with such love. Hey, I so appreciate you. I've learned. I wish you well. I wish myself well. If our paths are meant to cross, great. Like however you want to write it, but the idea is that you're coming from a conscious intention of personal responsibility and love. That's also very helpful to express yourself. Okay, the fourth step to overcoming a breakthrough is you want to acknowledge what actually went on in the relationship. Acknowledge what was aligned and what wasn't aligned. Sometimes we have a habit of romanticizing our relationships, thinking like, oh, it was so perfect, I'm never going to find someone else like this. Like, yes, I get that. So you do want to have appreciation for what was working well, but you also want to acknowledge and really notice where there was an alignment, so that you don't recreate that going forward. The fifth step to overcoming a breakup, when you're ready, again, you want to check in and make sure you're ready to do each of these steps. These are just giving you tools so that you're fully equipped and prepared to handle the emotional roller coaster that's going to come and go. The fifth step is you want to take an audit. Ask yourself, what did I learn? Where did I grow? What worked? What didn't work? Where can I grow as a human as a result? So you want to acknowledge these things. Kind of like the previous step, acknowledge what was aligned, what wasn't aligned. Don't romanticize it too much. The fifth step is about really diving deeper and like, what did I learn? How did I grow? Take an audit of all of it. What did I appreciate about myself, about that person? What don't I choose in a future partner? What am I available for? What am I unavailable for moving forward in love and dating with myself and with the other? This is a very healthy practice because what this is, it's you learning the lessons that your soul wanted to learn with this dynamic, this relationship. The sixth step to overcoming a breakthrough is you want to focus on who you're becoming. Who are you? What do you desire now? What's your passion? What's your purpose? You're recreating a new version of you because the identity of you in that old relationship is shifting. And so this is an opportunity for you to really put focus on you. Give yourself a lot of self-care, a lot of self-love, take yourself out on dates, write or type up who you're becoming. What are your goals? What are your aspirations now as the version of you who's in this new identity? The seventh step is to nourish your mind, body, and soul with healthy habits. A lot of times we tend to self-medicate. Maybe we'll turn to alcohol or other forms of escape, shopping, or distracting ourselves with things so that we don't feel. But you really want to make sure you're nourishing yourself with the right foods, sleep, getting the sleep you need if you can. Exercise is going to be really helpful for you in this process, and finding healthy habits and healthy expressions to make sure you're nourishing yourself. The eighth step is to make sure that you give yourself time. There's no timeline for grief or repairing the version of you that felt lost when it comes to a breakup. So you want to make sure you give yourself as much time and space. The idea is not to rush this process. These steps are here to help you have the tools to overcome and to move through and to integrate what might be alive for you, but not to rush the process. Grief will take as long as it needs. As long as you keep surrendering, you can talk to God, your higher self, the universe, to ask for help, but surrender to this process. Don't try to resist it. Just let go and feel what comes up for you. Feel what's alive for you. It will just facilitate a process that's more fluid and flowing. Your soul is guiding you through this process. It's not an accident. So you want to invest the time to make sure you just let it unfold however it wants to unfold. So don't put a time limit on it. I will say from the earlier step 2, where you give yourself grace and space for like 1 or 2 days to just like really reminisce. I'd say do that for 2 days where you're looking at videos, photos, all the things, but then put them away. But then I would say don't re-engage your old habits, because the thing is, you're keeping yourself set in the old environment by staying in the same like location that reminded you of your beloved, listening to the same songs. All of that's going to activate and make it harder to move on. So do that for the first 1 or 2 days, and then give yourself space to disconnect from them. Don't go on their social media all the time checking in on them, because that's going to just create like kind of obsessive behavior, and it's not going to facilitate the process. So give yourself time, disconnect, cocoon if you need to, take more time for yourself, invest more time in yourself, and you will find that on the other side of this, you will feel so much more whole and complete. All right, so those are the steps that will help you overcome a breakup. Now, I will say like kind of an added step to remember is that you are always safe. No matter what, whatever you're growing through, like I said, it can feel like a metaphorical death, and in a way it is. Just know that you're safe and do things that bring you joy. Engage in things to the best that you can. Sometimes you can't even get to the feeling of joy. That's okay. You just need to be at whatever emotional state you're in, and don't try to force it. But just know you're safe, and that it's really okay to do the best you can to engage in things that do bring you joy. But don't try to cover up the process. Don't try to run away from feeling the tough feelings, because that's part of your healing process. There's a great saying, a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. And you're not failing to make the turn with this breakup. You are becoming better. Decide right now that you get to be better on the other side of this. You get to be stronger, wiser, hotter, more incredible and aligned, better than you can ever imagine. Something that I want to invite you to is my 10-day self-love challenge. It's called Beloved. This program will help you reconnect to yourself, will help you rise higher in love, reconnect with who you are, and walk through the steps over 10 days. If you want to jumpstart to help you heal through the breakup process, this 10-day challenge is an amazing experience. So I'll put a link in the description below. Consider investing in yourself in this program. It's a game changer and will help you come back to wholeness and building a solid foundation with self-love. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Leave a comment below. Are you growing through a breakup right now? Have you ever been through an uncoupling? What was your experience with it? How did you handle it? Did you learn some healthy habits on the other side of it? I'd love to hear about it. All right, till next time, it's Michele Ariana. I'll talk to you soon.